Two grown men, co-workers, football fans, zero expertise. Mike, George. Since there's nothing else on TV, sit back, relax, and see what happens when two guys who work at the cable company steal 30 minutes of local access time while no one is looking on a channel that nobody's watching. This is the Mike and George Experiment.
It's Friday night.
It is.
At 8 o'clock. This must be the Mike and George Experiment.
In prime time.
How are you doing, George?
Doing good. Had a great Labor Day. I did no labor whatsoever.
Good
it was
for you.
good. How about you?
I worked around the house a little bit. I cut my grass a couple of times.
No bee
Got
stings
out
or
on
anything?
the lake. No bee stings.
Bee stings?
No.
But Kelly got a bee sting, I heard.
Well, yeah. When I first brought the bees in, he wanted to come see him. He got stung in the neck.
Okay.
But he's
All right.
the only casualty so far.
Good. Good.
Did you watch any football this weekend?
I did, but I had a good Labor Day too. I wanted to mention something real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, Matt's got us both beat because he got a wisdom tooth pulled. I mean, God, how much more fun can you have than that? And it was my wife's Connie's birthday, so we spent it in Yellowstone.
Oh,
and
nice.
I listened to a great...
Happy birthday, Connie.
Thank you, Connie. Happy birthday. Listened to a great band, and at the sports bar, watched a few college games, I did, and Idaho Muscle was the name of the band, and they were very good. And we don't sit around and listen to bands very often, so it was kind of fun.
Good.
And I watched several college
There were
football
some
games.
Good games.
There were some bad games, but there were some good games. And you're probably going to tell me about it.
Well, I've just got 4 or 5 notables here. Of course, I want to tell you that Alabama beat Virginia Tech, but they did not look good. They've got some work to do before September 9th when they play Texas A&M.
Well, pundits, though, said they looked pretty good. Is that,
Well,
is
there
my
were-
pundit wrong? Or
Well, there were parts of the team that looked very good. The offensive line, A.J. McCarron had a sack and he had an interception.
Right.
They weren't giving him enough time, and they lost like 3 guys to the draft this year, right off their front line. So
Yeah.
they've got their work cut out for them for the
Okay.
next.
all right,
few
so
days.
they might have
But they
been...
won, and Virginia Tech looked good. They're not a lay down team.
Well, then they beat them pretty handily, though, it looked like.
Well, 35-10.
That's good.
That was the score. It seemed closer. Okay. Eastern Washington, 49. Oregon State, 46.
Ooh.
That was a big. That was
It's
an
a
up. That was a surprise.
defensive battle, then. Yeah.
No.
No, not at all.
The best game of the weekend in college. Well, there were only college games, but Georgia 35, Clemson 38. Very exciting game. Clemson
I saw
looked
part of that. I
fantastic.
did see part of that. It looked like a really good game. I didn't get to see the end, but
Well, Clemson won.
Clemson won. Well, they're looking pretty good. They weren't supposed to win that game, were they? Clemson?
I think Georgia was
favored slightly.
I don't have
I think
my
they were
notes
favored
from
slightly.
last week,
So
but
that was an upset.
that game lived up to the hype. That
Okay,
was a
good
terrific
deal.
game. LSU defeated TCU 37-27. TCU's got a good program.
Good. I kind of like the Horned Frog. So.
And how about this? Boise State 6, Washington Huskies 38.
Ooh, that's got to hurt.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a local team, in
It's
the
a local
Northwest
favorite here, yeah.
Northwest.
And
yeah.
we've got 3 good games coming up this week. Florida at Miami, South Carolina at Georgia. I think Georgia will bounce back for that one. And Notre Dame at Michigan.
Ooh, that'll be a good game.
You have the polls?
I do have the polls. I have the AP polls and the coaches' polls. We're going to go with the AP poll. Alabama, number 1,
Right.
with 56 votes.
Okay.
Oregon, number 2, Ohio State, Clemson, Stanford, South Carolina, Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel acted like a punk in his game against Rice. Some of his antics are unnecessary, according to Brian Urlacher. Okay.
Well, according to a lot of people.
Yeah, Louisville, number 9, lost the best running back, Lamb. LSU and Florida State.
Where's LSU ranked?
They're number 9.
They
Number
dropped.
10, Florida State. And just a mention of number 11, Georgia lost their top wide receiver, Malcolm Mitchell. So they're going to have a lot of coming back to do.
Well, that's what it's about. It's about adapting to all the changes that occur throughout the season.
Right. You've got the right coach. You should be able to do it, like Nick said.
Right.
All right.
All right. Well, that's it for segment 1. Hey, watch this commercial and come on back.
See you then. Welcome back, everyone.
Howdy. George, let's talk about some NFL. Last week we did one half of the NFL.
Right.
This week, why don't we start with the AFC South and tell everybody how we think everybody's going to
Let's do that.
finish
Let's
up.
do that. What's your first pick, Mike?
Well, last year, the AFC South ended as the Texans, 12-4, the Colts, then the Titans, and then the Jaguars. And I think it's going to remain the same this year.
I agree. I think Houston's got potential to be a 13-win season team.
I agree.
the
Between
rest of
Arian Foster and Andre Johnson, I don't think there are three other people in the conference they can put together, or in the division that they can put together and equal the yards those two.
I don't see any of the other three challenging for that spot. So
we're in agreement. The Texans, the
Houston.
Colts, the Titans, and then the Jaguars.
That's exactly in agreement there.
Well, that's good. So let's go to the NFC South. We don't have to spend a lot of time.
Let's go to NFC South. All righty.
So last year was the Falcons finishing at 13-3. The Saints, Panthers, and Bucks all finished at 7-9.
That's a pretty amazing thing,
Isn't it?
And you know what I see? I see that being the same again this year. I see it being the same position.
Well, I think that the Falcons are going to distance themselves.
I do too.
A little bit more, but I think the Saints are going to do better. I think Sean Payton coming back into the formula is going to give them at least 2 more
And
victories.
lots of people,
I see it flopping 9-7.
Lots of people believe that. I'm not one that believes it. I think Sean Payton's going to make a difference, but I don't think Nollins has the defense to stay up with Atlanta.
I think the Falcons run away with the NFC South this year.
Yep.
Doesn't mean I think they're going to necessarily win this coming weekend.
Right.
But I do think that they're going to
That's
take
interesting.
that.
Yes, we'll be talking about that a little later.
All right, so we're in agreement.
Atlanta,
Falcons, I'm
Nollins.
going to say Saints next.
And that's what I'm saying.
And then I think it'll be Panthers, then Bucks.
And that's what I say. I guess we're in agreement again.
Again.
Oh, man. Where's the controversy?
All right, well, right here.
Okay.
AFC West last year finished out with the Broncos on top, 13-3.
Yeah.
Chargers 9-7. Raiders were 4-12. Chiefs 2-14. Is that right?
Yeah, that's amazing. And I picked, of course, I picked the Chargers and Denver
tying,
and Chargers winning the tiebreaker. Well, this year Denver is going to take all 4 spots. So that's it.
Do you think Denver's going to win?
Denver's yes. I think even with the loss of like Von Miller and things like that, I see.
Well, he's
Denver,
lost for 6 games.
Yeah, 6 games.
That's an impact.
That can be. But they got an offense. Wes Welker, is he going to come back in time? He was injured the last time I checked. So there's some ifs
I think
there.
he'll be back,
I think they're going to.
Here's the thing. Wes Welker is among other. I mean, I know there are other receivers that are capable.
Oh yeah,
they've got 2 tight ends that are capable.
Right.
And Demaryius Thomas and Eric Decker both had great years, lots of scores. I don't know that he'll get the same yardage that he got last year with the Patriots.
But he could.
He is
capable of it.
A factor. He's gonna fit right in there with those guys.
I agree. I think he's
and that is going to be
capable.
one passing team.
We'll see about the defense. I think the defense for the Broncos is going to take a little step back. I mean, look at how many San Diego Chargers they picked up in the offseason. I mean, they picked up 4 San Diego Chargers. Their defense has to go to crap. So, okay, so I'm taking Denver.
So am I.
To run away with it. I'm going for Kansas City, number 2.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not going to get bit by them again. I'm putting them at the bottom.
Are you really?
I'm putting the
Wow.
Raiders ahead of KC.
Wow. Well, that's
And
going out on a limb.
I'm going Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs.
And I hope that's true because I am a Charger fan and I really want that to be true. But I'm going Chargers number 3 and the Raiders number 4. I don't think the Raiders are going to be a factor with anybody this year.
You really think that the Chiefs are going to come in second place in the AFC West?
I do. I think they've improved themselves.
I
They got
like
a new
them.
coach.
I'd like
they
to
got
see
a new
that.
coach. Well, I don't want to see it, but I'm not going to get bit by San Diego, I guess. So I've had it.
San Diego.
San Diego. That's German. Did we mention that?
All right. Well, I don't know if we've got time. Let's try. We've got the NFC West.
NFC
this
West.
is one of the most interesting, exciting conferences. Not because the entire conference is fantastic, but because the 49ers and the Seahawks
are in the same
are
division.
in the same division.
That's
They're
fantastic.
going head-to-head. What an exciting...
But you know what? St. Louis isn't going to be a pushover either.
I actually think all these teams are going to improve, but somebody's going to have to lose more games. I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
But last year it finished where the 49ers were 11-4-1.
Right.
The Seahawks were 11-5.
Right.
The Rams were 7-8-1, so you can tell the Rams tied the 49ers. And then the Cardinals were 5-11. Don't tell me who your picks are. We'll talk about them when we come right back from this message.
Okay.
Welcome back
to the primetime edition of the Mike and George Experiment.
All right, NFC West. Just to
right.
refresh, it finished last year 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, and Cardinals.
Right.
Okay, George, who are you taking?
Well, I see that repeating itself. I think Seattle's a great team, but I think San Francisco is going to be the team to beat this year. I'm going to go San Francisco, Seattle, St. Louis, and Arizona. We're going to disagree on something here. I can see.
Boy, that San Francisco team is something else.
They are.
But I'll tell you something. The quarterback, Russell Wilson for the Seahawks, he has a higher rating. He has more touchdowns thrown by a lot. He's got more. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns.
Right.
Colin Kaepernick has 5.
Okay.
But Russell Wilson has 26 passing touchdowns.
Good.
And Colin Kaepernick had only 10.
Okay.
Now Russell Wilson does have 10 interceptions, and Kaepernick has only 3. But when you look at the running game, they've got Frank Gore, and then Colin Kaepernick is the second leading rusher.
Yeah, that's true.
Frank Gore had 1,200 yards. Marshawn Lynch for the Seahawks had 1,590 yards, and Russell Wilson was the second.
Right.
And he had like 70 yards more than Kaepernick. So
you're going for Seattle.
And I am.
Yes.
Now the running, the passing game, there are more yards with Michael Crabtree than, Sidney Rice. But I think
so you're saying
that this is going to be the year of the Seahawks.
I think
division.
they're actually going to take a little step backwards. They're still going to make the playoffs and stuff, but I think they're going to take a little step backwards, and that's why I'm going with San Francisco. And then you go St. Louis and Arizona after that?
St. Louis, then Arizona.
Right.
But
Okay.
I have them as Seahawks 49ers by 2 games.
Wow. Okay.
And then Rams and Cardinals.
Okay.
So there we go. Very good.
That is our
But we've got
picks.
some games this week.
We do. We have a Thursday night game coming right up.
Yeah, and this show will air. That game will be over.
We'll be over.
But it's
So why don't we wait till
Baltimore.
after that to make our picks?
Baltimore is traveling to Denver. Who are you taking for that game?
This is a great game. I mean, it's a great game. They'd love to come in there and knock the team off that knocked them out of the playoffs last year and stuff. So
Well, they're playing in Denver. Who are you talking about? You're talking about Denver wanting to
knock off
Oh, sure,
Baltimore. Sure. This is a great game, statement game for Denver.
Who are you picking,
However, George? I'm going for the Denver Broncos.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm going for the Denver Broncos.
And you will know who won that game already because when this airs, that game will be over.
So we're going out on a limb here.
Patriots going to the Bills.
Patriots going to the Bills. Well, the Bills are going to be not very good this year. I'm thinking,
Really?
and I've heard. I mean,
I think they're going to be better than they were last year.
I think so.
All right.
But I've heard New England Patriots.
You're taking the Patriots?
Take the Patriots. They're saying that's might be the best offense this year. Go ahead.
Okay. I also am taking the Patriots.
Okay.
The Titans are traveling to Pittsburgh.
Right. The tight ones are going to Pittsburgh, and I say the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win that one.
Yep, I agree. Here's the game. Well, this could be a game of the week. Atlanta Falcons are traveling to New Orleans.
Yes.
Who is your pick?
I'm going for Hotlanta, and in the no defense game.
Okay. I'm taking the Saints for this one because it's, opening weekend and Sean Payton's back. They're playing in the Superdome.
Yeah.
I'm taking New Orleans for this game.
Okay.
Tampa Bay going to the Jets.
Well, I'm going for Tampa Bay.
Same here.
The Jets are in a mess.
Yeah. Kansas City traveling to Jacksonville.
By the way, Sanchez could be out several weeks, by the way, instead of just a
does it
couple
matter?
of games. I don't think they, Geno Smith, Sanchez, they signed somebody else this week. Okay, who are we going next?
Kansas City.
The Chefs.
Going to Jacksonville.
Jaguars. I'm picking Kansas City in that one.
So am I.
Okay.
Seattle, Carolina.
Seattle, Carolina. I'm going for Carolina Panthers. No, I'm going
Really?
for Seattle. No, I'm going for Seattle.
All right. Let's bust through the rest of these a little
Okay.
quicker. The Bengals are going to Chicago. I take Chicago.
I take the Bengals in a close one.
Wow. Miami traveling to Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland.
I'm taking, I'm taking Miami.
All right. Vikings taking on Detroit.
Right? I'm going for Detroit.
I'm taking the Vikings.
All right, I like this.
Oakland's going to Indianapolis. This is an Indianapolis pick. It's not a tough one.
No, I'm taking the Raiders. Indy. I'm taking Indy.
Game of the week right here. Green Bay going to San Francisco.
Yeah, baby. I'm going for San Francisco on that one.
All right, me too. It's going to be the game of the week, though.
That is the game of the week, in my opinion.
Arizona traveling to St. Louis. I'm taking the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams.
My upset of the week is the Giants over the Cowboys. They're playing in Dallas.
Jerry Jones is so excited about that he can't sleep. Isn't it sad? He looks like he doesn't sleep anyway, but let's go for I'm going for Dallas on that one.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Monday night, doubleheader. Philadelphia at Washington. I'm taking Washington.
And in a surprise announcement, RG3 will start.
Yeah, we've known.
Yes, I'm going with Washington also.
Okay, and then Houston
In a close one.
traveling to San Diego.
In a close one. It's going to be a close game.
Who are you taking?
I'm picking San Diego.
I'm taking
In San Diego.
I'm taking the Texans. You're nuts,
Texans.
man.
Howdy, Tex. Hey, did I tell you? Did I tell you that Cleveland was being Cleveland moved last week? They cut both their kickers. Woo! That's a smart move.
We'll be right back.
Come on
Watch
back.
this commercial. will
Thank you.
Thanks.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's go right to Ava's picks, Mike.
Let's do it.
What do you say? Ava's got a couple college, a couple pro. Redskins over Eagles.
Wait. We got to tell the people who Ava is because we got
You
this
remember
whole new
Ava?
audience.
Exactly. Well, Ava was with us last year. It's Mike's niece.
Yep.
And she made some picks, and she did really well last year.
She did really well.
Really well.
She's how old
Better
is
than
Ava?
we are.
9 or 10 years
better
old.
than we are. She's got a higher IQ than we have. Okay, so she's got Redskins over
Sport
Eagle, Florida over Miami, Michigan over Notre Dame, and Atlanta in an upset over Nolens.
Yeah.
And I'm picking Atlanta.
I'm weary of that pick, but
Okay.
I'm sticking by it. We did get an email. We don't have an email sponsor yet, but if you'd like to sponsor the show, you can get in touch with us at, just email the Mike and George Experiment at gmail.com. Oh, and you know what?
Easy.
Since I already started, why don't we go ahead and do that, and then we'll do the shootout. How about that?
Okay, that's good. You've already started.
We've got several emails. Sorry. Carol writes, there are 14 teams that have never won the Super Bowl. Which one will win it first, and could it be this year? And she sent me some information. These 10 teams have been to the Super Bowl and not won.
Right.
The Vikings, the Bills, the Bengals, the Eagles, the Chargers, the Falcons, Titans, Panthers, Seahawks, and Cardinals. And these four have never even played.
Yeah.
The Browns, the Lions,
The Browns.
the Texans, and the Jaguars. So what do you think? Who's got the best shot of getting in there
I'd say Seattle.
this year?
I'd say Seattle.
I would agree.
I would say Seattle. I don't think any of those other ones are looking at. It doesn't seem like they're ready for the Super Bowl.
I'd say, and
much
on the
less to
AFC
win
side,
it.
I'd say the Texans have a.
Yeah, they got a pretty good.
And the Atlanta Falcons have a chance.
They do, but I think the best one is Seattle. I'd have to go with Seattle.
All right.
I think they're going to be.
Let me, Bake Rates. Do you think that colleges should be required to have an equal number of home away games like the NFL does? I'll answer this one, George, if that's all right.
That's okay.
I think that with the playoff system, your strength of schedule is going to come into play. I think it's okay to leave the teams to put together their own schedules. But if they put together a flake schedule, they're not going to get the love from the pollsters. And I saw a segment today how a kid who would normally have a really good Heisman chance isn't going to even probably be considered unless he runs over 500 yards per game every game because their schedule is so light. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
that's a good one.
It's a sword. I think you leave it alone, let the coaches do their thing. Cherry writes, what do you think of Christian Hackenberg's first start for Penn State? He's a freshman, and I think it's really too early to start evaluating this guy.
Read too much into it.
He's a true freshman. Yeah. He threw 2 touchdowns. He threw 2 interceptions. He got sacked 3 times. If he's being sacked more than that, I mean, do we know really how good the kid is? That whole team is brand new coach. We'll table that, but for a freshman to go out there to win the game against Syracuse, I think Penn State fans can be encouraged.
Yes.
So
okay,
that's our email.
How
about some George Truffaut?
George Truffaut shootout. Okay, here's the first one, Mike.
Okay.
The battle for the number 1 spot in the 2014 NFL Draft will be decided September 15th when the Jaguars visit the Raiders.
True.
Javon Clowney, come on down. Really? Okay.
Congratulations, you're an Oakland Raider.
Yeah. We're sorry.
All right.
Okay. Des Bryant will lead the NFL in receiving this season instead of Calvin Johnson. Megatron.
I don't think it'll be either one of them.
Got any ideas who it might be? Okay, then. Let's go to number 3.
I don't.
Let's go to
there are
number 3.
so many good receivers out there.
There is. And there's guys we don't even know about yet.
Right.
So I think they'll be. By December, Notre Dame's Brian Kelly will be the most talked about NFL head coaching candidate. And here's one reason I bring that up. The talk around the NFL is if Jason Garrett falters in Dallas, Kelly's in the wings waiting to come in.
I don't know. It's just so early. We haven't even. I mean,
exactly.
By the time we're shooting this, we haven't even.
But we'll know by the time this airs. We'll know.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about coaches getting fired.
I like
4
that.
weeks in. How about that?
All right, we can do that.
All right.
And I'm not, like I say, these are not my questions. Jeez.
Not your questions.
This is
I thought
the
this
year.
was George's true false shootout.
The year. No. This is the year Joe Flacco will shut up his dumb beep critics.
You mean winning the Super Bowl didn't shut up any critics?
I don't believe that.
Well, they're not going to. No, it won't.
No, then it won't shut them up. Okay.
All right. Listen, folks, we want to thank you and we want to thank our sponsors. I'm going to tell you who they are here in Helena. We've got Robert Allen Nissan, Augustine Properties, O'Shea's Aqua Dip, L&D Chinese Buffet, and Steve's Cutting Corners. In Billings, we've got Big Sky Collision, Suds Hut, Stronghold Surface Solutions, and Home Improvement Warehouse. We sure would appreciate it if you let them know that you thank them for sponsoring the Mike and George Experiment.
Yeah. Go down and give them your business.
Hey, George, have a great football weekend, everybody.
Turn in that urine sample, will you? All right, so
you were telling me you went to the Boise State.
Well, yeah, there were a bunch of Boise State fans there.
They were
very quiet. They were very quiet.
They changed their helmets. They're going to say the helmets are unlucky.
That's it.